Hi, this is Vintage RPG. I had a request to show the sliders for the Qunari character that I made during the Lucanus cutscenes video. That's pretty easily done, so here he is. His complexion is rugged 5, his skin tone is neutral and second from darkest, but the melanin is down to 86%. Obviously this isn't going to matter, like the overall structure of the face will work regardless of the skin tone that you choose. The complexion will change a little bit about how this face looks. So if you want it to look exactly like mine, I'd suggest sticking with rugged 5. Okay, for forehead, his head width is at -10%. Flatten is at 75%. The width is at -55% and the depth at -65%. If you've seen my video about reducing the forehead problem with the Qunari, you'll understand why all of these have been basically reduced down, and the same will apply with the scalp sliders too. For brow, spacing is at -20%, width -90%, height -25%, inner position 5%, outer position 30%, and depth -100% for the same reason, reducing everything back. For cheeks, depth is at 30%, height at 45%, width -60%. I feel like the width is always set too wide on all of the presets in this game, so it usually has to be shaved down to look good at 3/4 profile. Gauntness is -5% and jowls at 0. For jaw, overbite at 15%, just to bring the lower lip back behind the top lip slightly. Height 25%, width 15%. Jawbone angle, depth 10%, position -5%, and width 0%. So overall, jaw has been just brought down slightly. I haven't really changed the overall shape. For chin bump is at 100. Your mileage may vary, doesn't actually affect the aesthetics of the face, just changes the shape of the chin itself. Width is at 20%, depth at 5%, height at 30%, and double chin at 0. Slightly more prominent chin than he would otherwise have had. Larynx was unchanged, so all the sliders are at 0. Scalp has some pretty significant changes, so I reduced the head down pretty massively to make the front look more proportionate. So the top has been flattened to 70%, the width is at -80%, height at -85%, profile -40, and scale -35. For the body, this is not going to affect the appearance of the face, but just out of interest, he is at full athletic build. He's at max height, and overall the idea was to go for more of a V-shaped body, so his shoulders and chest size are bigger, and then his waist and hip has been reduced down slightly. Eye shape. The spacing is at 40%, up down at 25%. Obviously I haven't changed the left and right to be different. Depth at 85%, trying to bring it forward as much as possible with this preset, which isn't very far. Tilt at -45%. The eyelid's vertical distance is 35%. Hooded is at 35%, and I haven't altered the left and right vertical distance. Eye color is an interesting one for Qunari. If you want to go for more of a Dragon Age 2 style Qunari eye color, which is what I was aiming for here, you can create quite a convincing custom color. So if you go for a gold brown for the middle iris, a dark brown for the outer iris, and then with the inner iris you choose this last kind of pinky color, turn the saturation and brightness up to 100%, and you'll end up with quite a bright orange iris. Then if you pick black sclera, you get quite a Dragon Age 2 style Qunari eye. His eyebrows is preset number 31, which contrary to how it looks in the thumbnail is actually quite a full eyebrow. This is 30, which is what the thumbnail looks like it is, but it's actually quite a lot fuller. 32 30 and 31, as far as I can tell, all have the same thumbnail, even though they are different eyebrows. His eyelashes is number 10. And obviously no mascara on this particular character. It wouldn't do anything here anyway because he has dark eyebrows and eyelashes. For the nose shape, I went with preset number 6, and then depth to 15%, height to 10%, size 15%, and interestingly crookedness at 10%. I can't remember if that was a mistake though. I guess I decided that made it look straighter. Nose bone depth is 20%, height 10%, and width 65%. Nose bridge, vertical position 50%, horizontal position 40%, width at -10, and depth at 40%. Nose tip changed much less than the others, 0% depth, up down at 5%, left right at 0, width at 0, and rotation at 25%. Nostril size is 30%, width is 5%, and depth 35%. For mouth, the width is -20%, depth 20%, position -25%, size 20%, lip thickness at 5%, upper lip size -5%, lower lip size -10%, mouth corner position -10%. So we're just trying to have quite a masculine lip shape, so not a very full lip. Ears, ear shape number 8, size is at 0. I didn't really change much about this at all. So depth at -45%, height 20%, and position -15. Everything else is at 0. So I don't know why those are so different from one another. That must have been an accident, but you know, there we go. It should really both be at 0, so that must have been a mistake. Hairstyle, you just choose what you like the best, but again, as discussed in that video about fixing the Qunari 5-head problem, if you pick a hairstyle with the farthest forward hairline, it's probably going to give you a better look because it will give kind of an illusion of a lower forehead. So pick a hairstyle that goes right up in between the horns. For this character's hair color, I think it's this color. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. It was at 17%, and then brightness turned up to what, 59? Yeah. So it's sort of this dark grey color, but then bleached out a little bit, creates kind of an ombre look. It's less pronounced in the game, but there is a slight kind of darkening up towards the root, which I think looks quite nice. Then obviously you'd go back to your eyebrows and eyelashes once you've fixed that color and changed the color to match the hair. And then I think what I did with this is darkened them because for some reason it decided to make them really bright. Yeah. Okay, for horns, I just like to pick horns that are as dark as possible because then I think they blend in better with the horn sockets and make it look less weird, these kind of horn protrusions. I'm pretty sure he has horn number 19. I don't know why it's not selected what it is. I think it's this. Yeah, it's horn number 19. I originally started this character with horn 16, and then I decided that in Weishaupt he broke a horn, and then he had one that was like fake, effectively. You can do whatever you like with this. I like horns that basically point backwards more than pointing sideways because I think it creates a bit of a nicer look, and I like to pick the darkest possible horn color. Some of them fade out to white towards the tip, which is really nice, but if the color closest to the head blends in with the skin, then I think that creates a really good look. It's less conspicuous that he has these bulges on the side of his forehead. And this particular character, because he has one crystal horn, I picked Fire Opal just because it matches the orange eyes. He has no makeup, so all the eye, lip, blush, I don't think there was any on this preset, but if there was, it's been removed. So everything is just X'd out. He has quite a lot of tattoos and scars on his body. I don't remember if he has any on his face. I think if he does, yeah, it's just like a very minor scar. It doesn't change the aesthetic at all. The only thing I didn't look at was facial hair. So I like for Qunari characters to have a bit of scruff. I don't think it looks bad either way. The scruff is less pronounced in the game than it looks on this screen. So he looks fine, clean shaven, but I think with the bit of stubble, you know, it does look nicer. I believe it's number 40. I think it's actually 41. I think 40 is the curly version and 41 is the straight version. I think it's 41, but then in the game it's not that noticeable. So even though it looks like a lot, especially in this thumbnail, it's really not. And just match it to the hair. And that's basically it. So I really liked this character. I enjoyed playing him. I thought he looked good the whole game through. Never really had any moments of like, oh my god, I need to go to the mirror and fix something. So hopefully he will be a useful base if you're trying to make a Qunari dude all your own.